Hi, so this is the beginning of DGST 101, summer 2023. My name is Zach Wendland and I'm the professor for this class. I'm just recording a video here to give you, a student in this class, a brief introduction to what's going on and let you know what I look like, what I sound like, and kind of get you oriented on some things. This video is going to be posted on YouTube, and I'm also going to be live streaming a little bit later in the day, hopefully. Just getting started today, so we're seeing how things go. So I'm going to keep this pretty informal. I want to talk first in this video a bit about what digital studies is. I'm going to go over some basic expectations for the course. I'm going to show you how to use Discord, which is going to be a major platform that we use as far as interacting and working on stuff for class. And then also talk a bit about domains, which is going to be the first major thing that you need to do as a student in DGST 101. And that'll be it for today. So this is the first day of class, just kind of getting things started. Digital studies is one of these terms that can mean a lot of different things, and it's kind of vague just by nature. It's sort of circular because, like, of course, everything's digital at this point in society, and to call something like studies of that is sort of, it sounds redundant because, of course, we're studying things in school. That's like what we do. But it is an emerging discipline. It's a term that I've been using for a while. Other people are using it as well to describe a certain set of things. And there are three concepts that I think help organize this class and help organize the way I like to talk about digital studies. So I'm just going to go through these here. Digital creativity means doing interesting things with computers, making things that are only possible to make because you have a computer to make it with. This might include things like programming your computer to do something interesting, to make art. This could include things like animated GIFs. Video is also edited on computers now. Video games, interactive fiction, all kinds of things. So this is something that will be our first task, or the first module that you work on, because it's a great way to get used to doing interesting things with your computer and trying things that you haven't tried before. So digital culture is the next set of things we'll work on, and digital culture, like I said, in so many aspects of our life are encompassed by and made possible through digital technology. It's important for us to understand and think about the ways that our society has changed as a result, or is made possible as a result of the different digital platforms that we use and take advantage of every day. So we'll talk about that, we'll learn about that. Specifically for this class, I'm interested in thinking about the ways that generative AI has sort of exploded over the last few months, and I want us to think about what that might mean for culture in general, for us specifically too. And then finally, digital methods. This is when you have a question to answer or a problem to solve, and you're going to use a computer to investigate that problem, try to answer that question, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So this would involve some software to try to do those things. So in a nutshell, that's what I think of as digital studies, and it encompasses all of those things. And I think of DGST 101 as a gentle and broad introduction to lots of different things within those three general concepts. Some basic expectations for the class. This is an asynchronous summer class, and as a result, maybe a bit different than what you're used to. I just noticed I'm in front of my text there. So I just want to tell you what I expect for this class, and what I expect from you, what you'll expect from me. I plan to think of, there's basically 5 weeks of class, and I think of that as 4 weeks of content. And for each of those 4 weeks, I think of 4 days of content for each of those 4 weeks. So this is kind of in line with if this were a synchronous class, that's how it would be scheduled. So what I plan to do is have daily instructions available sometime in the morning that will always be text in Canvas, like written out instructions. But sometimes, and hopefully every day, it'll be accompanied by a video like this one with me introducing things. I also plan to do what I'm calling an office hours live stream from 10:30 to 12:30. This will just be me on my Twitch channel doing whatever is related to the work for that day. It might be me doing things for my other class that I'm teaching this summer. It'll be kind of a slower version of what I'm doing here, because I can kind of talk through things a bit more. I can interact with you. If you watch it live, you can chat with me as I'm on the live stream, and those will be posted on my I'll probably put them both on my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel afterward. This video, of course, will just be on my YouTube channel. I'm also going to be available by appointment in the afternoon. I still need to set up my appointment scheduler, but that will be available, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll put that in the syllabus. But it's Monday through Thursday, and so for each of those, there'll be 4 distinct concepts for each of those 4 days, or tasks that you need to accomplish for those 4 days. And then between those, so Friday through Sunday, that's more on your own. I mean, I'll be online, but I'm not going to be putting out new content or instructions on those days. So you'll be on your own to work through anything that you haven't finished yet for the week. I do recommend that you try to complete things on the day that they are explained and assigned. These are things that are meant to go in a sequence, and it is technically possible to do them all in one day, but I recommend doing them day by day. In some cases, these tasks may take you 2 or 3 hours each. So if you're doing that all in one day, that's going to be a long day. You'll have more time for those things to develop and build on each other if you spend more time on it throughout the week, or spend that time gradually throughout the week. So that's my recommendation. You will see due dates on things Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As long as you get it in by the end of the week, that's fine with me, but I wanted to put those due dates on there to really signal that you should do those things in that order. So even if you're doing these things after the fact, make sure you do them in the order specified. In some cases it doesn't matter, honestly, but in some cases it does. So try to just go with what I've got put in there, and you should be fine. All right, so just in general, don't be afraid to try new things. There's a lot of things going on in this class that are just sort of there for you to try, and I'm not expecting mastery. I'm not expecting you to be a web developer by the end of this class, although if you want to be, that's great. There's a lot of things, and I really want you to push yourself. I mean, I've looked at the welcome survey responses, and I know a couple of you from other classes, so I know that some of you are entering this with a fair amount of anxiety about working with computers and technology stuff. That's fine, that's normal. I think that's probably most people. Some of you also are entering this class with a fair amount of experience, and so it's interesting to think about that. I want you to be basically honest with yourself about where you are, where you're starting from, and then show me that you are making progress beyond that. And if you can do that, then you will be successful for this class. I want you to try new things. I want you to push yourself and reflect on that process. And it's all about, I'm much more interested in process than product for this class. And that begins with an assessment of where you are right now. And that's what the Hello World assignment can help you do, and also the welcome survey. Okay, as far as communication norms, I guess, you can always email me, but I do prefer Discord just because it's quicker and it's easier to go back and forth on Discord if you have a question. I'm going to talk about our Discord channel in a minute, but I would prefer that as a communication platform, but if you just need to talk to me, email's fine too, if it needs to do it that way. All right, so those are some general expectations for the class. Now, just to get a little bit more specific about expectations for the class, I want to take a minute and walk through what's available in the Canvas course and what will be available throughout the Canvas course. I'm looking at the main page right now, and I've got it set to student view, so it'll look the way that you see it there. In terms of the navigation over here, it's on the left. Home, syllabus, assignments, pages, perusal, grades, people, files, collaborations, and outcomes. I'll talk about most of these, I think. I think the main thing that you are probably interested in is the syllabus, and so I'm going to jump into that. That's probably what I'll do here. But let me just show you what's on the home page for Canvas. I've got this big kind of image just kind of welcoming you to the class. At the top, I've got 5 links, and these are important things that you will need frequently, and so that's why I put them here. First of all, UMW domains. This is the system that you'll be using to build your domain. I'll go ahead and open it up here. You should not do this yet, but what you should do at some point, probably today, is sign up for a domain unless you already have one. And just to be clear, there are 2 systems when you go to umw.domains. There's sites at UMW, which is the information explained on the left, and then there's domain of one's own, which is the information explained on the right. We're going to be using this one on the right, domain of one's own, and so that's run down here, sign up for domain of one's own. That's what you would do, not sites at UMW, but domain of one's own. That is going to result in a different set of tools that are available to you, and you're going to need those tools for this class. So that's it in a nutshell, but there's a lot more to say. That's a good introduction, though, I suppose. Just to be clear, domain of one's own, not sites at UMW. But you'll need to access this frequently, so that's why I've got a link at the top. We've also got a website that you will be using to find information about the class. In fact, I need to update that link. It's going to be a place where you can learn about, like I said in the previous section, digital creativity, digital culture, digital methods, and I've got a series of modules here, and these are modules that are kind of choose your own adventure. They're set up so that you can find different things that are interesting to you within a particular area. There's some consistency within them. I'm going to give you a list of 3 to choose from first, and then that'll be kind of the pattern week by week here. So for the first one, for example, I want you to choose something that is creative. So there are several options here. There's actually 6 available on the website, but just to kind of keep things organized for this class, I'd like for you to choose one of the following 3: creative coding, interactive fiction, or digital audio. Those are things you don't have to do today. I'm going to talk about them all tomorrow in the video for tomorrow, but that's just kind of heads up of something that you'll be doing there. I guess I'll show you for each of these. What I have is a brief explanation. I have some learning objectives, some things you can do, suggested things you can do, and then some resources and tools. So it's kind of explained there, hopefully pretty clearly, but that's something that I will talk about some more tomorrow. I also have a link over to our Discord server. I'm going to talk about Discord in a little bit. I mean, not yet. And then over here on the right, I am going to have a link to my YouTube playlist, which is going to include this video. I don't have a link there yet because I haven't created the playlist yet, because I don't have any videos yet, because I'm still recording the first one, which is what you're watching. And then I also have a link to my Twitch channel. This Twitch channel, so I'm going to be on here, like I said, I'll be live hopefully 10:30 to 12:30. That's my planned schedule as I've got posted on here. This is optional. You don't have to watch this if you don't want to, but I would of course enjoy seeing you online if you want to watch me and interact with me in real time. That's a way to do that. Basically, I'll just be kind of working on class stuff, so come check it out. All right, so on the schedule, the rest of the homepage for the Canvas course is organized as the schedule. So I've got it organized week by week, and for each week I've got the 4 days worth of content. Day 1 is the first day, and it's the only day with a link to it, but each of these days will have a link to them on that day probably, as I kind of put things together and release things. So this is a link, the first link goes to week 1, day 1, which is the information you see here. And this is me explaining what's going on for today. I'm going to embed this video on this page, by the way. I'll also post an announcement whenever that's ready. And as you can see, I like to start off the instructions with a checklist for the day. So these are the things that are important for today. So first of all, orienting yourself to the structure of this class. You're watching this video, so that's part of what you're doing. Getting started in Discord. I sent you an email last night with a link that you have to follow. I'm not going to be able to put that, I don't want to put that link on our Canvas page because our Canvas pages are public and I only want people in the class in the Discord, so I've made that link private that way. Today you should learn about domains, you should think about digital identity, and you should research some available domain names. Whenever you're ready, you should then register a domain name at umw.domains. We're going to talk about that in the next segment a little bit. So some other parts of this Canvas course do bear a little bit of explanation. So I'm going to jump over to the syllabus, just using the course navigation to go over here to the syllabus. And I want to talk about some things. There's a lot of detail here in the syllabus. It's a fairly detailed syllabus, and it covers in a fair amount of detail a lot of the things I've already said. So I'm not going to go through that kind of point by point, but just wanted to highlight a few things in terms of the requirements for the class. Everything's going to be free to you and online. The main thing that you are required to do is build a website hosted at UMW Domains, and this is part of what my instruction is for this class. So if you feel nervous about that, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do it. You'll be okay. There's a lot of other ways to get help too, by the way. So the main thing is Discord, of course, for getting help from me or your peers. So in terms of the classes, so there's, the assignments, there's a, pretty general discussion of these. These will be explained kind of as they are assigned week by week. I'll go back to that in a minute. In terms of grading, it's a simple kind of grade scale of check, check plus, check minus, or X. And this is just a way for me to indicate, like, you did what I asked, you exceeded what I asked, or you failed to in some way. And this is a way for me to point to things that you can possibly improve on. And if I ever assign a check minus or an X on something you've submitted, I want you to know you can resubmit that. Like, you have the option to redo that if that's something that's missing. And if I do give you a check minus or an X, I'll make sure to explain via Canvas what was missing or what was unsatisfactory about what you did. Your goal is to get check or check plus on these. And then as far as thinking about what your overall grade is for the class, of course, that has to be the conventional letter scale. So that's something that we'll talk about as we get near the end. And I'm going to talk through how to use the rubric so the learning outcomes for the class as a way to explain the grade you feel you've earned. A few other things here to keep in mind. I think policies and expectations are pretty conventional except for a couple of things. One of these, I've organized this like a FAQ, frequently asked questions. One of the questions that's a bit unusual for this class is the question about posting your work publicly. And yeah, I mean, you do have to post some of this work publicly. I mean, the idea of having a domain is public. I mean, it's a website that you're putting out there. So there are different ways to navigate that if that's something you're concerned about. Now, I encourage you to be open with your content and put things out there. Many people find that that's new to them, but I think it's a good thing to try. If you're nervous about it, or if you'd rather not, kind of think about this through your domain, like through your name. There are ways to obfuscate your identity somewhat if that's something that's important to you. So, for example, you can register a domain name that's not your actual name. I recommend, so my domain is zachwhalen.net, and I recommend something similar. Yeah, so zachwhalen.net is nice and short. It's my name, and I put myself out there, but I'm okay. I've been public online for years. I don't mind doing this. I like doing this. This is something that might be new to you. So if you are nervous about hosting something with your domain, with your actual name on your domain, then that's your call. But you still need to register a domain to complete the work for this class. So what you might want to do is think of a screen name for your domain name. Bear in mind like a nickname, something that's not your actual name. Bear in mind though, when you're signing up for a domain using Domain of One's Own, you only get to make this choice once. You can't change it after you've done it. So if you do want to do something other than your name, make sure you're happy with it, because you're stuck with that forever. So anyway, all that's to say, I recommend posting everything public, but if there's any concern about something, it is always an option to make something private or just share it with me as opposed to posting it publicly. That's something that we have to look at almost as a case-by-case, assignment-by-assignment kind of thing. But the default assumption is that things are being posted publicly. So that's something that you should know about. Something else to know about is that we are, in terms of what cheating means, this is a new era in terms of that. So I just want to be clear that using AI tools like ChatGPT, unless authorized to, I'm going to just go ahead and call that cheating for now. I think that I'm developing a more nuanced view on that, but it's something that, unless I say otherwise, please don't use these tools to complete work for this class. In fact, we will actually use these tools for one assignment in this class, but otherwise, please don't use them. I think you'll find that they are not as good at creating content as they say they are. So I think that's one reason not to use them anyway, but just as far as honesty, academic integrity, please don't use those. Okay, I believe everything else in the syllabus is pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to go through it anymore. If you do have questions about anything, of course, please ask either on Discord or email. So that's the syllabus. There's a few other things that we'll talk about as we get to it, perusal and collaboration stuff, but we'll wait until those things come up before we actually jump into that. Okay, so that's the syllabus. And this is Discord. We'll be using Discord quite a bit this summer, I hope anyway, and I wanted to just give you a quick tour of what's here, just in case you've never used Discord before. I'm using it in my web browser right now, as you can kind of see, but that's so that I can easily capture it for this video. I don't normally use it in my web browser. So Discord is a chat program, I guess. It's a place where you can share files and interact with people. You can interact with it in a number of different ways. I am the administrator of this server, and I'm inviting you to it. You will be interacting and seeing each other on this server. On a Discord server, you can have a nickname, and so I recommend choosing a nickname. Doesn't matter if it's your actual name or not, as long as it's something that's easy for people to identify. Also, make sure it's not something that's offensive or weird. And once you've picked one, I would recommend keeping it that way, just so people can kind of tell who you are. Remember, this is the only way other people are going to know who you are or interact with you. So kind of think about that in terms of how you're presenting yourself here. So one thing I'm doing, this is different. I've used Discord a lot, but one thing I'm doing differently with this summer is, since I'm teaching 2 classes this term, I'm going to actually use one Discord server for both classes, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know. There's a general kind of welcome statement, but this is DGST 101. So the DGST 101 channels are going to be down here. I'm selecting these on the left here. We'll look for DGST 101 General. I might actually rename this just to be a bit more clear that this is the DGST 101 General channel. Now, someone has already started posting in there. Since I'm recording this and putting it online, I'm not going to click to that channel right now. I don't want to post anyone's identity, but the idea typically is that the general channel is for whatever. If you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to post something, just always put it in general. The announcements channel is where I will share links to the announcements that I'm posting in Canvas, just to make it in another place for you to find these things. I'm going to make a couple new channels right now. I will call this one discuss. So one of the assignments for today is to read an article by Audrey Waters and then discuss it. So I made this channel just for that discussion, and just as a demo, I will show you what it's like to interact with a Discord channel. So let me just shrink my screen here a bit so you can actually see it. And the way this works, it's a chat kind of program. Think of it like a group chat. So the idea is you type whatever. Hello, this is a Discord message. I know it's quite small. I'm just typing in there. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to zoom that in there. And so whenever you're in a Discord channel, you'll see other people's message post up. And if you're online right now, you might have seen me just now post this. Once a message has been posted by you or someone else, there are a couple things you can do to respond to it. One of them is you can click this button over on the right. My head's in the way, but over on the right it says create a thread, and you can carry that discussion off in kind of a side channel if you want to. I don't usually use that method. I think it's easier just to do it in line here. So there's other options. You can reply to this message and say, in this case I'll just say yes it is. You can also use the reaction option. If that's the first option when you hover over the message. And I like this a lot. I think it's a great way to just show someone that you read their message. It's a way to acknowledge their message, even if you can't think of anything clever to say in response. If you just want to say, hey, that's a good idea, whatever, thumbs up, 100, like whatever it is you want to do to say that this was a good message. Please do that. That's a great way to show some interactivity in Discord and help other people feel like their ideas have been seen. Something else you can do that's kind of fun is GIFs. So if you click on, so when you're typing in here, there's the button over to the right. I'm kind of in the way again. It says GIF, or you can just type /GIF, GIPHY, Giphy. And then it's asking for a query. So if you type a text phrase, you can perform a search for GIFs that match that query. Hello in this case, and here's a picture or an animated GIF of Elmo waving kind of excitedly. It's kind of an annoying GIF, so I'm going to probably delete it, but that's what's going on here. I'll go ahead and delete that. But you can respond to other people's GIFs. You can also post pictures of your own. If you click on upload a file, you can post a picture. Something that I would recommend if you are stuck on something in class is actually to use this feature of it to upload a file. If you have code, if you have a screenshot of an error message, that's a great way to get some help. In some cases, some of the assignments will prompt you to share something specific, so that's what you'll be doing here. All right, so then in terms of other things, so make sure you read the welcome information here, and that'll get you started. If you have resources to share that you think would be helpful for other people, that's what this resources channel is for. If you have a question, here's the help channel. This help channel is, if you have a question. And this is a channel that's going to be shared by both sections, so you may see other people, posting things in here from creative coding, and that's fine. If you have some ideas for them, you're welcome to respond to them, and vice versa. Hopefully they'll have ideas for you. Share channels just for if you have something to share with people that you want people to know about. And then this channel, Office Hours live stream, I will be monitoring this channel when I'm on the live stream on Twitch. You can sign up for a Twitch account and chat with me there if you want to, or you can chat here and I'll see these here as well. Okay, something you should know about too within Discord is it can send you a lot of notifications, and if you don't want to see all those, it's maybe a good idea to think about what things you want to be, notified about. So if you click on the title of the server, so the server is called Zach Whalen Summer 2023, something like that. I might change the server to be something more clever. But that's, if you click on that, the notification settings, this is something you should take a look at. So I'm going to set mine to have all messages just because I want to see what all of you are doing. That could be a lot, and so I'm used to that, but you might not be if that's something that you aren't used to. I do recommend having Discord open all the time, by the way. Just download the app, set it up in your computer, just have it open and running whenever you're working on stuff on this class, so you'll see other people online. I recommend though setting this one to, set your notification settings to only app mentions. This is going to only send you a push notification if I send you a message or someone mentions you by name using the @ thing there. So, I recommend that if you want. Like I said, I'm going to switch mine to all, but I would recommend keeping yours on only app mentions. Okay, and like I said, Discord is great. It's a good background kind of thing, so download it, install it, whatever you need to do, keep it running and ready whenever you can, so you can jump in and so you can see other people jumping in as well. Okay, so that's Discord. I know I talked about it a little bit in a previous section, but I wanted to spend a bit more time thinking about a domain and explaining what a domain is. I've written it out here in the instructions for today, but I think talking through it's a good idea as well. So a domain is your home on the web, I guess. That's the cliche that it used to be. But this is something that you can really take ownership of and use as a platform for promoting your work and your digital brand of yourself, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to think of it as. So that's more of a conceptual sense, but in a technical sense, what we're talking about here is a domain. It's a URL, it's a location, it's an address, and this is a name. The way the system is set up, it involves something called the domain name system, a DNS. And when you sign up for a domain, you are signing up for an entry in that DNS. It's kind of like a giant reverse phone book because every computer identifies itself as an IP address and thinks of other computers as other IP addresses. That's how computers talk to each other. Humans don't talk to each other that way. We use names and language. So a domain name is a name for a particular computer. And I own the name ZachWhalen.net, and I have the ability to put whatever content I want to on that at that location. That's the same idea that you're signing up for here, or maybe you've already signed up for it. If you have already, that's great. You don't have to do it again. But if you're doing this for the first time, I recommend being thoughtful about what domain you're signing up for. In general, I think it's a good idea to do some variation on your name, and in some cases, you might want to think differently about the TLD. That's the last part, the net, com, or edu. Those are TLDs. I think it doesn't really matter that much, but most people go with com.net or org, com.net info maybe US. Kind of go with what sounds good, but the key thing is it has to be available. Only one person can own a specific domain name. So if you don't have one, you're going to be signing up for it. You have to first of all find out if the one you're interested in is available. So this is, I just noticed I got some old links here to some other things. I need to go through all these, but the thing that you need to do to research a particular domain name is go to a website like whois.sc. There are others. You can actually do this from a command line if you want to, but this is kind of an easy way to find out, is a particular name available or not. So for example, if I wanted to go to ZachWhalen.net, let's say I wanted to buy that domain, I would be able to look it up here and find out that no, it's not available. That I can see that because it's got a record and it's got content there. These are the things that are, telling me that I own this domain name. So let's see if I wanted to find a different one. Let's think about another domain name. Let's say ZachWhalen is great. I don't recommend a domain like this, but what I can see is like this domain is available. ZachWhalen is great.net is available. Now, do not buy this domain, right? So if you do search for things on whois.sc, it's actually domaintools.com. Do not buy it from them. But what we're doing is finding out that this is available. And now that I know this is available, when I go here to UMW domains and sign up for a domain, I can sign up for that domain, and then that is UMW, will buy it for you. So don't buy it yourself. You'll see it that it's for sale. Do not buy it. This is just showing you that it is available for anyone to buy, but we will buy it for you as part of the sign up process on UMW domains. Now, if you are not sure, you've got a good choice, right? So think about your name that you want to make here. If you find that the one you wanted is not available, if you're unsure about what domain to register, it's okay to pause and think about it. Ask me for help or advice. You only get to make this choice once, and once you've signed up for a domain, that's it. So here's some things I do not recommend. I do not recommend including UMW anywhere in your domain name. I definitely do not recommend using your net ID as your domain name. So that's the first part of your email address, So in my case, my net ID is, zwhalen, like zwhalen@umw.edu, but zwhalen.net, like that's not a very good domain name because I know that that's the first initial of my name, but you might not know that. If I just showed you my if you just found this website somehow, you'd be like, what is that, a word? Is that zwhalen.net? What is that? So it doesn't make sense. But ZachWhalen hopefully does, because that's the two parts of my name. Similarly, you want to make sure your domain is clear, and in general, net IDs are not clear at all as a domain name. I do not recommend that. If you've already done it, I mean, that's not, I mean, you can't undo it. So it's not the end of the world, but if you're not signed up for a domain yet, please do not register a domain name with your net ID as the domain name. Okay, so I think that's the main advice I needed to convey about that. There's a bit more explained in the instructions for today, but this is the first major thing you do and the first major thing you commit to. So, it's okay to be thoughtful about this. It's okay to think about this. There's a video I've got linked in the notes for today with a bit more explanation of what a domain is, what a domain name system is, and I have, again, some instructions here and some recommendations. So make sure you read those recommendations. Once you've signed up for it, let us know what it is in Discord. All right, so that's it about domains. And this is the main thing you need to try to work toward today, the first day of class. Okay, I think that's it. I covered a lot already in this video. I think I'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for signing up for this class. A summer class can be intense. It'll be a lot of work in just a few weeks, but then it's over with, and hopefully you'll learn a lot by the end of it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you signed up for it. If I can ever be helpful with anything in this class, please ask. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you, so please ask me for help. Email is okay, but Discord is better usually, so get in touch with me there. And let's get started.